So I don't think a lot of young entrepreneurs or individuals, college students have gotten the ability to understand finances. Maybe it wasn't something that was in their household. Maybe that's not something that they were taught. So a lot of like the very basics is what do I do with my first paycheck? They get their first paycheck and let's say it's $700 for that week, which if you're 22 or 21, that's not half bad, but they go it's like okay, Netflix, car, food, and then by next week Friday when they get paid again, they're like $20. So
So
what do you
do
recommend?
you know that the biggest mistakes that I've seen, the biggest financial mistake that I've seen in my even my own family
Mm-hmm.
with my nieces and nephews, and I have a huge family. Um, when they graduate from college and they get their first
Mm-hmm.
real paycheck, they go and buy an expensive car.
Mm-hmm.
They go and they buy an expensive car. They might have loans that they're paying off for their education. They might have a lot of them, our families are multi-generational, so they do still live with their
Right.
parents when they come back from college, and things like that. So they go and they buy their first car. So let me tell you guys something about a car. And I know young people are
Yeah,
big on cars.
100%.
Chala knows everything about a car. I know nothing about a car. I drive my car to take me from one place to another. A car is not an investment when you're in this age, unless you are a luxury car collector and it is your business and that is what you're doing. But it's similar to other investment properties. That is not, it's not an investment. And a car is a necessity to take you from one place to another. So when you put money in a car, it is not an investment. It can work out the opposite way.
Right.
That is a debt. When most people buy a car,
Mm-hmm.
they're taking out a loan. If you are taking out a loan to buy a car, then you're already like making the wrong
Mm-hmm.
decision. Buy yourself a used car if you have to. Buy yourself something that you can afford. I cannot tell you how many of my cars have broken down on me on several places because I've had several different cars when I was younger. A car was my thing that took me from one place to another. I'm not gonna I'll put the money that needs to be in the car. So when you are ready to treat yourself to something because that's your specialty or whatever it is that you're looking for, that should be in the priority list way down the line. So I know the way I talk about this is it is the night is the shiny thing that's right in front of your face, and that's the first mistake that you make is you put your money in a car and you don't, so don't do that. That is what
Mm-hmm.
not to do. When you get your first paycheck, I would say a couple of things to
Mm-hmm.
someone who's getting their first paycheck. Understand what's coming out of the paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
So understand that if you are an employee, you have FICA and Social Security and Medicare, which is FICA tax.
Mm-hmm.
7.65% of your paycheck off the top automatically comes out to go into the Social Security and
Mm-hmm.
Medicare fund. Then there is federal withholding.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to pay federal income tax. So federal income tax, depending on your tax bracket and what you're making, will not be that much for $700,
Right.
but that's going to automatically come out of your paycheck. If you have, if you live in a state that tax your money, then the state tax and the local tax will come out.
Right.
Then, if you work for a company who's offering you a 401k
Mm-hmm.
or a health plan or things like that, there might be deductions that come out for that. So off the bat, when you start working, you have to start paying certain things. You have to pay the government,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have to pay into Medicare and Social Security because that's what's taking care of your old age pension and
Mm-hmm.
your old age health care. You have to pay your the other, if it's a state government, and then you have to pay your medical. One of the issues with America is medical insurance. Medical insurance costs a lot. With Obamacare, one of the best things about Obamacare is it two things that Obamacare did that I think nobody should dispute. It moved the age of a child or a dependent to be on a family plan from 18 21, I believe it was 18 to 21 to 26. So, because most of us that are between 18 and 26, we're still in college, we're still trying to figure ourselves out. So, it gave you the opportunity to stay on your parents' plan until you're 26. So, and you didn't have to prove anything. You didn't have to prove that you're going to college. You don't have to prove anything. You just, that's an automatic. So, that to me, that was the best thing. It helped a lot of kids. And with the cost of insurance now, as opposed to 15 years ago when this came out, I bet a lot of parents are thanking for that. And then it took away pre-existing conditions. So that was two things that it
Mm-hmm.
took away. So health insurance is one of the expenses. So you are already starting with a paycheck, your first paycheck, to
Uh-huh.
pay all those things.
But what should they do, like on their end? So let all that is taken out. So they're left with, let's say, like a couple $100. What do they need to do though? Like, what should
So
they
what
put
I would
into
say to
investing?
do is there are different formulas. If you are living with your parents and you do not have additional
Right.
expenses, save as much as possible.
Save or invest?
You start by saving.
Okay.
So I personally would start you off with opening a Roth IRA,
Okay.
right? That's how I started with all my kids, and putting the money in there, and then learn how to invest it when you're
Uh-huh.
younger. But if you have not done the research and learn how to invest, but it is more available to you guys today.
Right.
That part, you can go on Schwab and open an account. You can go on Fidelity and open an account, and you don't have to have $1 million.